Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Shiatsu therapists all over the world, brothers, sisters, and lovers. Another week, another episode with another great guest, all the way from the East Coast of the US, Nini Melvin. And unfortunately, I couldn't live stream it on Facebook. Facebook wouldn't let me live stream this, so we'll post the recording for everybody to view on our group. Well, welcome, Mimi, Nini.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thanks for coming.
You're welcome. Today's topic is well suited because last week's guest, Nick Haynes, kind of set up the year for us with the year of the water rabbit. So we spoke last week about the energetics of the year and what's in store for us and some of the traps to watch out for and some of the opportunities. And this week's topic will be about embodying the 5 elements. And Nini is going to feature her life's work in a book that she created and put out for all of us and a deck of cards. So let's just dive into it, Nini.
Sounds good to me. Hi, everyone. And thank you so much for being here. Quite excited to share this. I've been working on a book, I would say probably most of my life, but the pandemic came and I closed my studio and I really got focused. And the book has just been printed. And so it's called Humanature, Elemental Pathways to Personal and Planetary Healing. And it's a lot of pages of beautiful artwork and philosophy. It takes us from the oneness of the universe into the embodiment of the elements, and it takes us through each element. It shows the first and last points of each element, the source points, special points, and it really gives us a sense of how do these elements live in the body. And that's what I'm hoping you'll get to experience with me today. That I discovered one day after memorizing from a chart all these different meridians. One day I touched Heart Protector Meridian and I went, oh my God, it has fire in it. And I started to think, wait a minute. The meridians actually express the quality of the element. So wait a minute, this is not just a theory. It's not that theoretically Heart Protector is part of the fire element. Fire actually lives in the fire meridians. So it was a real opening for me to the magic of the meridians and to move out of the mentality of just memorizing them and then treating them, but actually feeling them, feeling how that being that I'm touching is expressing all 5 elements. So the Kyo and Jitsu and all of that is not so theoretical. It's about those aspects of a person and what their relationship is to the elements and how the elements, maybe we have an affinity for some elements, maybe we have an aversion to some elements. And that's who we are. Yes. So to me, the way that we find our wholeness is through embodying all of the elements and getting to know which ones feel like truly us, but also which ones we've been avoiding. And maybe to feel more well and to feel more whole, we can develop good relationships with all the elements.
Having your unique background, and the word embodying, it's something that we see a lot these days. I mean, I see it everywhere, the embodiment of this and how to embody trust and how to embody love. But to really get there has to be a process. And you have that unique background of also being an expressive dancer. Your innate sensitivity and shiatsu training. Can you speak a little bit about your journey and how it came about and what brought you to this point, producing in a way your life's work?
Sure. Thanks for asking. Yeah, when I was small, I loved to move. And my father, who's from Vienna, Austria, he was very much into the outdoors and he took me outside all the time. And I used to move around. And when I was by the river, I'd be moving and I'd get up in a tree and I'd be stretching. And so I think I was doing this from arriving on Earth. And then my dance background took me into a dance profession and degree and all that stuff. And then a wonderful stiff neck led me to Shiatsu. So this is something always to remember when people have pain, when we have pain or your clients have pain, it could be a great opportunity, because I went to a chiropractor and the woman who worked on me went to the Shiatsu school. And I said to her, well, I've always done intuitive. Dancers always work on each other, intuitive touch. Tell me where you went to school. And next thing I knew, I was enrolling in the Ohashi Institute. And that was in the early 80s. And I spent 14 years there, 4 as a student and 10 as an instructor. And I got to travel around and teach in Italy and Switzerland and Germany. And it's a great life of teaching Shiatsu, but there was a way that teaching Shiatsu was a lot about memorization. And even the 5-element theory, as I learned it as a theory, as a teacher, I had to put on the board fire, red, tongue, etc. And it was so in my head. But then the big awakening, actually, and I haven't told this story very often, was I was invited to teach dance in Italy in 1989. And there was a man teaching African dance. I was teaching modern dance. And this man who was teaching African dance was at the edge of the water. And he was taking the water and he was washing his body and he was splashing it over him. And I was sitting there reading Diane Connolly's very wonderful book about the theory of the 5 elements. And I'm reading the theory and I'm watching this man living with the water. And he invited me to come down to the ocean at night to offer flowers to the gods of the waters. Everything changed for me at that point. Suddenly, I am realizing that this theory that I learned is actually not so separate from reality. It is reality. And my belief is that before we got so civilized in our world, when we lived indigenously, indigenous people lived in harmony with the elements because the elements were how we survive. We cannot live without all 5 elements. So they give us life. So the respect for the elements, the connection with the elements, the connection with the spirit of everything, for me, shows us harmony. And then when we start to separate from that and we start to make everything really convenient, and we get super civilized, and then we start to feel disconnected. And then everything gets so theoretical. Then we have to learn it with our mind. And then we have to try to feel it and try to embody it. But if you go back far enough and you remember, and I think we all have the primordial intelligence to remember that when we connect with nature, we remember that part of ourselves. We remember our relationship with all of the elements and how we're not separate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I got here, pretty much.
Good. And I mean, and that's our journey as therapists and as guides to the people that come and see us, because as you said, in our modern life these days, so many are disconnected, right? Everything is made so convenient. All I have to do is watch my son's generation, especially coming out of a pandemic where we were so isolated. I mean, they don't play outside as much as we used to.
Right.
Right. So you can see with the clients coming in, busy lifestyles. You go from one box, enter a box, and drive and go to another box and come back. And all day long you're spending time around walls, right? And so we lose that connection with nature. And as you know, that creates a lot of mental, physical, and even spiritual pain. And that's how they end up coming to see us. So as therapists, let's talk about the therapist perspective. How do we as therapists don't lose our connection to those elements? So instead of them being this theory in our head and just speaking from the theoretical perspective, how as therapists, as role models to the people that come and see us, how can we embody the elements and create practices around them?
Wonderful question. For me, it's about movement. It's about not sitting in a chair, not typing on your computer or working on your phone. It's about moving. And it's about, even if you have to be in a box, if you can't be outside, you have to use your imagination and remember that there's a ceiling over your head, but beyond that ceiling is the infinite. So I work a lot with alignment for practitioners to feel the spaciousness above them. And I use Qigong a lot to work with the spaciousness and how the spaciousness actually lives inside our form. And then how our form, even in this very moment, just check in. Is your center of gravity connected to the center of the earth in this moment? Because Mother Earth has this power to pull our center of gravity all the time. We can resist it a lot, and it's very exhausting. No wonder we're so tired. Mother Earth and gravity are pulling our center from our dantian, from inside our body to the core of the earth. And guess what? We all meet there. So to feel that connectedness, to feel that way of centering, I work a lot with, and I'm going to invite you to do this, placing one hand on your lower dantian and one hand around the sternum, around the heart. And this is kind of a signature thing for me. I don't even know when I'm doing this, but it's almost like a default. My hands make their way to my heart and my center. And I breathe. And I feel that my heart is infinitely vast. It's where my Shen, my spirit, lives. And my center, as I said before, is being pulled by gravity to the core of the earth. So I have the vastness above and the density below. And my hands are a reminder that I'm a conduit of energy that connects the vastness and the density. So if you breathe into your hands like this, you start to feel the connectedness of your hands to each other and to your body. And you start to bring earth and sky into you, and you feel yourself extending into earth and sky. Now, as a practitioner, I do this before every treatment. I do not want to feel disconnected from earth or sky. As a practitioner, I want to feel in alignment with earth and sky. So a hand on the heart, a hand on the lower dantian, and I begin to feel more connected. Now, there's a lot more we can do. We want to open the gateways of our central channel and our conception vessel and governing vessel. We want to feel the interconnectedness of our being on a personal level, and the front body is more personal, and on a more universal level, the back body is more universal. So even just in this moment, if you take this hand from your lower dantian and you slide it around the back of your waist, you can bring it to your Mingmen, right? On the governing vessel, the Mingmen gateway of life. And you can begin to open these gateways, open your vessel to the universe. So we're going to just do one more change of each hand. Let's take this hand from Mingmen and bring it down to the sacrum, down to where governing vessel comes up from the tailbone. You can use the back of your hand if it's more comfortable. And we're going to place our second hand on the top of the head on Bai Hui. So now see if you can feel the downward releasing of your tailbone and the upward opening. You might even let your hand lift up a little bit. Here we're connecting once again to the earth and to the sky. So opening these gateways takes us out of the box. It takes us out of the limitation of what is man-made and helps us remember how connected we are to the entire universe. So from here, we can just let the back hand relax down and the top hand go up and stretch for a moment into earth and sky. Stretch into earth and sky. And bend your knees, relax your arms, and stretch the other way into earth and sky. Remember, you're a conduit that connects both. So we're not just this little form, right? We are infinitely connected to the depths of the earth and the vastness of the sky. And now bring your hand back to your heart and back to your center and close your eyes for a moment and take a few deep breaths. See if you can feel those gateways a little bit more open. And maybe you can even feel how your breath is moving into your energy field, not just caught inside your body, but starting to really emanate into your field. And just notice how you feel. And in this moment, feel free to switch your hands just one or two more times. How's that Mingmen? Is it still open? Is the tailbone still dropping? Is Bai Hui still open, full of light, vastness? Maybe when you bring your hands here, you can start to feel more vibration, more life as these gateways are opening. And just to feel it, push this hand down to the top of your head and push the top of your head down a little bit, and notice what happens if you consolidate and close yourself off from that vastness. It gets pretty depressing in here. So lightening that up again, drop the tailbone, lighten that up, and lift the hand, open to that spaciousness. And release your arms to your side. And if you're not standing at this point, please stand for a moment. I'm just going to show you one thing that I do before every treatment I give. I sit down next to someone and I encourage them to take a few deep breaths. And I do what I call scooping up the earth, open the palms, bend the knees. We're in Seiza usually, so our knees are already bent, but we're standing. So bend the knees, scoop up the earth, bring the earth to the horizon, feel where your form meets the vastness. Open up to the sky, bring all that sky energy in above you And bring your hands, your palms together above your head. And then slowly bring your palms pressing gently down. Relax your shoulder blades. Relax your shoulders and feel the central channel of your being illuminated. And bring your hands to rest in front of your heart. I do this before I touch my clients, and I do this when I'm finished a session. I begin and end with this reminder that I'm connected to earth and sky. And we'll just do it one more time. Open the palms, bend the knees, scoop up the earth, horizon, sky, palms together, shoulder blades relax, drop, shoulders drop, hands start to come down, illuminating the central channel of your being and bringing the hands to rest in front of the heart. In this moment, I do a bow of gratitude before and after my session for this life, for getting to touch life in this way, and for this being who came to allow me to be with them in this moment on their journey. Sometimes I'll then move my hands back to the heart and the hara and let them rest there. And I'll just find my way back to this remembering.
Beautiful.
So that is something I do as a practitioner. And the other thing that we'll do together is we're going to do some movements together. We're going to move the water and we're going to feel how the kidney and bladder meridian move water through us, give us this depth and fluidity and adaptability. And we're going to go from one element to the next through the creation cycle, the birth cycle of the elements. And we'll explore that too. I try to do that every day. And if I don't have a lot of time, you can actually do it in a minute, where you just water, wood, fire. I'll show you. We'll do a longer version, and then we'll do a I need to connect with all five version.
I love that. That's good. The express version, yes. So maybe this is a good time to share the screen and take us through it with the examples in the book.
Yeah, I think what I'd like to do is show some of the examples from the book. And so you can have some inspiration. And really, for me, nature and the body are not separate. So when I was creating an expression of the meridians, I wanted it not to look like a meridian chart. I wanted it to look like the human being expressing the natural world. And then when you look at it, it's like, oh, there's the meridian. So these are very precious to me. I want to thank Lorelei Chang, who is with us today, because she and I did the choreography for these, and her photographer friend did all the photographs. And then I superimposed them with photographs that I took of nature. So you will get to see Lorelei's expression, Jeff Holcomb's capturing of that expression, and Nini's, I'll just say, kind of strange fantasy world of how nature and the human body express themselves actually in the same way. So you ready? Ready for a little treat, I hope.
Yes, we all are ready. I will have Lorelei, maybe after you show us, share some of her experience and memories from doing this.
Sure, if she's up for that. She's a teacher, so she'll probably be up for that.
Okay, good.
So somehow the chart is set up to show you the chart, the slideshow to show you the chart first. So that may be where we wind up. So how am I getting, I'm getting something else on here. Okay, here we go. So this is an expression of the five elements and all the meridians. And what I love about the way that we created this is that if you look at red, you see where fire is. If you look at blue, you see where water is. So the chart in the middle, the circle in the middle reminds us of how nature expresses it. And then the body shows us the color and the energetic of the element. But we're going to go back. Let me start this over. See if I can get back to the first. Oh, it's going to take me all the way back. So close your eyes for a sec. I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning. Sorry about this. I guess I should have stopped and started at the beginning. You're getting a flash. We're going backwards through time. So here's the beginning. This is Calligraphy by Lorelei Chang. This is the expression of one. We are all one.
Beautiful.
So we begin the book with the Tao. So this is what we were talking about before, about being infinitely connected to all of life. This beginning of the book, and also in the deck of cards, which I'll show you as well, shows you how you are everything and everything is you. We are not separate. When we separate things out, it's only for theory. It's only for the mind. We are light. We are luminosity. We are radiance. That is our nature. We are the integration and unification of density and vastness. So we are rock, we are water, and we are sky. And this for me is the balance of what we call yin yang. I like to call it expanding yangward. So we're going in the direction of yang, we're going yangward, and we're
Maybe froze.
So we will continue recording. So we are going back to the slideshow and back to the back body. So we're here in this world. We're in the world to serve all of life. And the back body is how the universe supports us. The governing vessel is how we get infused with universal energy. So we have the impetus, the inspiration to give to this world, to give our vitality and our life force to this world. And then we have the central channel, which is, we talked about it when we did the warm-up for the practitioner at the beginning and end of the treatment. We have this alignment, the central channel. And the central...
Sorry, Nini. I'm sorry, you actually haven't shared your screen. So can you go back to sharing your screen?
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Lorelei. What would I do?
Okay.
And share. You're still here? Hang on a sec. Hi, everybody. Sorry for my techno blah, we'll call it.
Good. We can see now. Thank you.
Okay. Did you miss the back body then, I'm assuming? Can you see the back body now?
Yes, Nini, that's perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
So here we have the governing vessel. Do you see the light through the middle of the body here? This is governing vessel, right? Remember Bai Hui at the top of the head? This is how the universe is supporting us, feeding us, inspiring us. And then we move to the central channel. And I just need to, well, all right, we're gonna keep going. I'm hoping he'll come back in.
I came back in, sorry. For whatever reason, it crashed on me here.
That's okay. I hit record, so I'm getting a Zoom recording. If you
okay, good.
That's fine.
Good.
Lorelei reminded me, so great. So here we have alignment. We have the central channel, and we have the front body, the conception vessel, and the back body, the governing vessel. So we have this light. We're made of light, and this light emanates from the central channel, and the energy, the microcosmic orbit energy of the conception vessel and the governing vessel. And then we continue to look at different aspects of our being by looking at ourselves as the 5 elements. And we're going to begin with water. This is the kidney meridian. So can you feel how that swirl of the ocean, when the tide is going out and the tide is coming in, and that undertow brings the energy, brings the water back in and restores us. And the undertow then turns into the crest of the wave, the waterfall, the more yang to yin movement of the bladder meridian. So I'm just going to go back. Kidney meridian is going from the deep inner realms, yinward to yangward. You see their movements toward each other. And the bladder meridian is going from yangward to yinward. Does that make sense? Can I see some ahas, head shaking? Yeah. So yin yang are not separate, people. Please, let's not be teaching them as separate things. They're not separate things. They're a way to describe the qualities of oneness. So earth to sky and sky to earth. Now we're going to go through each element, and then we're going to do some movement. I hope I'm not talking too much. So we're going to go quickly. Here's spring, wood, liver energy, the emerging that happens when spring begins. And gallbladder energy, twisting.
Beautiful.
Turning. That's Lorelei expressing gallbladder.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's a great pose.
Heart. Now, if you look, you can see the meridian is in there.
Yes.
All in the most protected places. But when the heart is very healthy, it can express itself. It's not afraid. It can allow its radiance into the world. So this is the heart meridian. And this is small intestine meridian. All the twisting, turning of the insides of the flowers, the insides of our belly. I think of it like our inner molten lava. Heart protector, our radiance, our luminosity. How comfortable are we with sharing it, with expressing who we are, with letting our light serve this world? And triple heater, how do we protect that light? How do we keep our immune system strong and the field of energy around us intact and permeable so it can exchange light, exchange warmth with the universe?
Beautiful.
Now we come into the earth element. You can feel the difference from fire to earth. Everything in this world has a center, and this is the center of a flower. And it's the center of our being is nourished by receiving the deliciousness, the sweetness of life, the sweetness of earth. And stomach meridian, this is where the squash, it meets its stem and it connects to the earth so that it is fed and it gets round and it gets abundant and sweet. And here we have the lung meridian, opening to the vastness, filling ourselves with our own essence that's connected to the essence of everything. And here we have large intestine meridian, that consolidation, that peristalsis that helps us to clarify and get the treasures out of things, and then let go and get rid of what we're finished with. What we let go of becomes compost, which becomes fertilizer. So we need to be able to crystallize what is treasure and what is compost. Here, I'm just going to show you a couple of charts that we made for the diagnostic areas and points. So you can see the water lives in these parts of the back and the front. These are the diagnostic areas and the Chinese diagnostic points. So we have the Mu bow points of the front body and the Shu Yu points of the back body. So I'm blending the Japanese system and the Chinese system. So when we're working on water, we have it right there in our fingertips. We can work with it. both systems at the same time. And here you can see fire. Look where fire lives.
Mm.
So I'm hoping that this is bringing the elements more to life for you, because they're not just circles that are a certain shape. They're actually life expressing itself. And then
that's the gift of this book. It does bring a lot to life with the vibrant movements, the images, the colors, for sure. Yep.
Thank you. Yes, for me, it's so important that we remember that we're touching life. You know, so often I see students, they're just like looking for that Kyoan Jitsu, and they're kind of forgetting that they're touching life, and they could be feeling fire and water and all the unique ways that the being expresses itself. So this is putting all of the areas together and seeing how the 5 elements all express themselves in the hara and back, and also in the points, and they're all color coordinated according to what they treat. And now we're back to the whole body. And then I'll just quickly, the end of the book is a reminder that says, gently, folks, live gently, touch life gently, be respectful and be reverent for life. And remember that everything's made of love. And again, this is a beautiful Lorelei Chang piece of calligraphy. So that's an introduction to the book.
Fantastic. Well, that is beautiful. And I'm sorry I somehow disappeared. The internet, I guess, collapsed on me here for a second. It'll be great to have Lorelei. If you can unmute yourself, Lorelei. Mm-hmm. And just because she was featured so prominently in this book, and such great poses, and such a great addition to the visuals. If you can maybe share some of your experiences and memories. And
oh, hi everyone.
Hi. Yes.
Thank you for putting me on the spotlight. I didn't expect to speak anything, just enjoy listening. You know, working with me was such a pleasant, it's honor to, you know, producing this book together. It was, I don't have a word. I'm looking, listening. Sorry, I had to, someone rang the doorbell. I had to run out for a little bit. I listened to the majority of Nini, just, you know, I studied with Nini for 3 years for Shiatsu, but listening again, I keep hearing more and more the essence from this practice. It's so beautiful, mixed with the human body with nature, and to be able to do this project is just so enjoyable and so honored. Yeah, we did fairly fast. I think Nini and I came. Nini came to my house. We spent 20 minutes, literally 20 minutes, working through all the choreography.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then we went to the studio. We shoot for 2 hours, and we did everything just with one breath. And the photographer, my friend, said, I was impressed, like everything just flow out of you, because Nini was, we also did a 5-element Qigong version, and my photographer videotaped. He's not Shiatsu guy, he doesn't know anything about Chinese medicine, but he was just blew away about, you know, how things flow so beautifully, and Nini wording as I'm moving, just like how she did it with this photos. And he was very touched by the element flow. He understood everything. So I think the beautiful thing about this practice, where how Nini teaches, the language is so simple, and it's so heart, it's from the heart place, and it's so easy to receive. And I remember the first class I went to Nini's studio, I just feel this love showered me all over. I said, this is very healing. So I'm speechless just hearing Nini speaking about this again. I just so thrilled to be here and to be with Nini and doing this project. So I hope we all get to hold this book in your hands. This book really holds so much. There's so much love and light in every page. Yeah, I feel like that 20 minutes is actually with all the years that we're together, and just feel this effortlessness. And that's how I remembered.
Beautiful. Well, what a great collaboration between a teacher and a student, two dancers, two women that embody this work, this life. So beautiful collaboration. Yeah.
Indeed.
Thank you. I couldn't have done it without you, my friend. Couldn't have done it without you. So I know it only took 20 minutes for the choreography, but you have to remember that I've been choreographing this my whole life. So
yes,
I came to her living room like, okay, this is how we have to do it so we can see. You have to be able to see the meridians in the movement, because you know, it's one thing to go long, but we got to get the back of the leg, you know. So I did some work ahead of time to think it all through. But when you really are in alignment with what you're here to offer the world, it becomes more and more effortless. You know, you get to surrender to the flow of your life. And I really do want to get a chance to take you through the movements. So
let's do that. Yeah.
I'm just going to show you the deck, just simply to show you the deck. This is a deck of cards, and this is what they look like. And interestingly enough, the one that fell out was the bladder meridian, which you've already seen. So that is our guidance for our movement, is the bladder meridian. So would it be easier if people pin me so you can see what I'm doing?
I featured you here, so you got the whole screen pretty much.
Okay, great. And please, the most important thing, I always say this to my students and also my clients, do not listen to me more than you listen to yourself. Listen to yourself first. If anyone says anything to you ever that doesn't feel true, don't believe it. Discover what's true for you. So I'm going to guide you, and I'm going to say, do this and do that. Listen to yourself. If I'm saying more fire, and your fire is going, trust yourself first, okay? And please tell that to your clients, to please tell them to trust themselves and not try to just give their power to you and hope you fix them. They need to trust themselves in order to be on the healing journey with you. I think that's really important. So let's begin. A hand on the heart and a hand on the center. And we're going to just glide through the elements. First, we're going to begin to soften the spine, and begin to let the hands relax and just start to feel water moving. You can imagine water around you. You can feel the water within you, and see if you can find a fluidity. How fluid is your spine? Can you undulate and flow like water? And we're people who like to use our hands. If there's a place that's a little stiff and it's not flowing, please feel free to use your Shiatsu hands on these places that are asking for attention. So water your water. How fluid can you become? And now let your water flow all the way down, down, down to the earth, and start to wake up bubbling well on the bottom of your feet. And start to feel that water, the most yin, deep water inside the earth. And we're going to begin to rise up through the kidney meridian with water flowing, rejuvenating, flowing downward, up through the kidney meridian. If you use the Masanaga extensions, all the way through into the palms. up into the vastness of the night sky. And bladder meridian is going to flow downward, downward, all the way down, going inward toward the earth. So can you let your water flow? Earth to sky, and sky to earth. Let's make a circuit of these meridians so they become one circuit, connecting water through us between earth and sky and earth. For those of you who are point-oriented, when you come down to the earth, connect your bladder 67 downward. It's the most yin part of bladder meridian. Let it go down into the earth and then let it connect with bubbling well. So the beginning and the end of the meridians are very connected, important. Coming up, we can let kidney 27 bubble up and connect with bladder 1. So yin connects with yang. They're not separate. Feel free to hold the points at the top and the bottom. And now we're going to switch to wood. Water gives birth to wood. So let yourself widen your stance a little bit. Feel that fluidity of the water. But now imagine everything's melting and the seeds, the bulbs inside the earth are waking up and they're going to drop roots. And we're going to start to twist a little bit and turn a little bit and stretch a little bit. Wood is waking up. It's pushing its way up through the earth. It's starting to move toward the warmth of the light. It's pivoting, shoulders and hips. And letting that wood come from inside the earth, rooting down. Feel yourself rising up, yinward to yangward. Stretch. Feel that sinewy muscles, ligaments, tendons, liver meridian, rising up toward the sky, and gallbladder meridian, zigzagging its way down from sky to earth. Feel how wood stabilizes us. We had all that fluidity of water. Now we have some little bit of solidity, stretchy solidity. Liver rising up. Gallbladder zigzagging down. I'm afraid this is a little bit the fast version because we're a little short on time. So we're going to go from the wood rising up into its fullness, become that full oak. If you were an acorn, you're now an oak. So come into the fullness of wood and then start to feel your heart get a little bit excited and wake up and say, I want to express who I am. I want to make flowers and blossoms, create and express. And we start to let the flames go from the earth through us and up into the sky. Feel that heart meridian opening the armpits, and then the fire's coming down. Turn your shoulder blades forward and inward, small intestine meridian coming down from the sky toward the earth, through you and into the earth. So heart and small intestine meridians, earth to sky, sky to earth. And then because the heart is the home of the spirit, the Shen, it has protectors as well. It has heart protector and triple heater. So the fire gets to circulate. It gets to give its radiance to the world and gather up radiance from the world. and find homeostasis, find balance. How much fire goes out? How much fire comes in? Heart protector and triple heater regulate that. And so fire reaches the peak of summer, the most expansive time. Let yourself, if you're up to it, let your fire expand, and then feel the moment that it begins to descend and give birth to earth. All that light made everything so sweet, so ripe. Now we're going to gather it up. We're going to pick the flowers and the fruits. We're going to gather up all the sweetness, and we're going to bring it into our earth, bringing it down through our stomach meridian. We're going to gather up from the earth the pumpkins, the squash, all the sweetness, and we're going to bring it up through our spleen meridian. So, stomach and spleen meridians as one unit, connecting sky and earth, earth and sky. Delicious, sweet, abundant earth. So abundant that we have plenty to share. And even the harvest ends. We've gathered up everything. It's time to clear away and let go of what we don't need. So we're going to start to peel off and shed and give back to the earth. Large intestine, letting go of what we don't need, twisting a little bit and turning like the peristalsis to break things down. And we're going to make sure that we take in the essence. We're going to receive the essence, the treasures. We're going to open the lung meridian. We're going to gather up the treasures. And we're going to clear away anything that's in the way of our truth, of our essence. Letting go of the burdens that we no longer need to carry because we already received the essence. And opening into the spaciousness. And becoming like a crystal, pointed into the sky and rooted in the mountain. And being the crystal serves the heart. Find your clarity in service to your heart and stand in that clarity as your true essential self. And that essence then dissolves and gives birth to water. And just go back into the water for a moment. And real quickly, we're going to go water to wood, to fire, to earth, to metal. One more time, water, to wood, to fire, to earth, to metal. Place one hand on your heart and one on your lower dantian. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Soften your knees, open the gateways that we touched earlier. Feel yourself connected to all of life. And slowly, when you're ready, let your hands dissolve and open your eyes. And let's come back together.
Wow, what a journey.
A quick one.
Beautiful. Full of color, sound, and warmth and coolness. And it's great. I can't wait to hear the people here with us sharing their experience. If you don't mind, this is a good time to share. So we'll put all of you on the screen here. Who wants, maybe raise your hand, who wants to share this wonderful experience that we just had?
I see some things in the chat.
Yes, there's lots of things in the chat. Here, Rini, go ahead. Just unmute yourself.
Hi. I really loved, just it really brings the elements alive in such a short space of time, and it just felt really enlivening. I didn't expect that we would be doing practice, and it's just really beautiful. You really bring just feel such an abundance, and it gives a lot of inspiration as well when working for myself, but as a practitioner and also with clients. I do sometimes work with small groups, and yeah, I think it's a great way, rather than people often say, what are the 5 elements? You need to kind of explain them. In fact, no, we can live, breathe, be, move with them. So yeah, thank you. Really inspires me to bring much more movement into my practice. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much. And please do bring movement. We need to move. We've gotten very stagnant as humans. So thank you.
Thank you, Rini. Anybody else wants to share or ask questions, comment? Kim is another dancer here. She said, this makes me so happy.
Good.
Beautiful and vibrant. People love the images, of course. Fiona, as mentioned, I love it. I was entranced by the 5 elements from the moment I first learned about it in Shiatsu 20 years ago. I was lucky to have a teacher who took us out into nature to experience each element. So we're wading into rivers, doing kidney qigong, etc. I've never forgotten that embodied learning. Fantastic. 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 Well, maybe this is a good time, Nini, to share with us any upcoming classes that you might have or anything that you're offering online.
Yes, on Sunday, this coming Sunday, I'm doing a workshop with Lorelei, actually, and we're doing it on Zoom and in person.
Oh,
and
fantastic.
Workshop called Qi Hua Gong. It's a form that we both love very much. And we got into a discussion about what is Hua. I was like, Lorelei, what's Hua? And so we started getting so excited about it, we decided to share it in a workshop. Hua is all about transformation. And it's a very simple form. It's great. It works with opening the gateways, opening to earth and sky. And it's a simple, easy to remember form. And you know, they say the best Qigong is the one you'll do. So it's the one I really love to do. So for me, it's one of the best forms because it's quite simple and very user-friendly. And then I'm online series. I do an online series on Friday mornings, which is mornings East Coast time in the United States. So I guess afternoon and evening for most of you. I'm happy to, if you write to me at ninimelvin@gmail.com, I can send you all the announcements about this. This workshop, we do movement, 5-element movement, and we do points, we do source points, we do first and last points of the meridians, we do diagnostic areas, we're doing self-shiatsu because we were in a pandemic and that's what we did. So, and it's gone so well, we're continuing. And then I do that for an hour, and then I have an hour, which you could sign up for one or both, that I call office hour. And people can ask me questions. People can talk about clients. Everything's anonymous, everything's confidential, but especially after the movement stuff comes up and people either talk about case studies or clients or themselves or their loved ones that are having certain challenges. And I give a 5-element perspective on that. I also do card readings. I haven't done them in a while, but I do some online card readings. And I was out of cards for a while and I just had some made. So I'm back in the have cards, and we'll do card readings, workshops online as well.
Fantastic. And the book, how can they order the book?
Yeah, again, ninimelvin@gmail.com. Unless you know a publisher who wants to publish it, I self-published 100 copies. I've almost run out, so I'm going to self-publish another 100 copies. But as you all probably know, it's quite expensive to do by yourself. So sorry that they're expensive. They cost $60, but I actually don't make a profit on them. But I'm looking for a publisher, but to get them right now, they come through me, which means I will personally sign them to you, which is nice. You can also, the decks come in these cute little cotton bags. It says Humanature on it. And the deck comes with a booklet, a little book, a little miniature book that has all the cards, the pictures of the cards and the messages from the cards and the 5-element chart and different ways to do readings. Everything has to be done through me until somebody helps me find a publisher, and then I can put it in someone else's hands and not have a part-time job of running to the post office, which is what I do.
Good. Well, did you hear that, Shiatsu community? Help her find a publisher. I know there's a publishing house created by Shiatsu therapists. I can refer you to that.
That would be great.
And I want to thank you and our guests, and thank you for your life's work. I mean, and this amazing production, this amazing collaboration. You brought a lot of life and color into Shiatsu, and you continue to do so. And it's worth every penny and every dollar. So $60 is not a lot. You know, it's a masterpiece. And I highly recommend it. Every Shiatsu therapist, so whoever is interested in the 5 elements needs to get a copy for sure.
And thank you all for doing Shiatsu. We have to keep it alive and really being so respectful of life. We have to remember, we have to reteach how to think about life being valuable and precious and touching it that way with that consciousness. So thank you all. And thank you for inviting me, Michael. And thank you,
honor.
Who isn't here, but Dawn is the one who recommended that we meet. So,
well, I'm happy that we have, and I'm happy to feature you on our podcast and spread your work and your book. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining us. And those on our group, Facebook group, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened with the connection today, but you'll have the recording, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Ciao for now.
Just if you can stop the recording.
Yes.